Good evening. Thank you for your presence this Christmas Eve, whether you are joining us in person or online. I'm Jo Celine, OUUC Media Specialist. I use they, them, or she, her pronouns. Welcome to all who are joining us on whatever platform you are using. This Zoom service is being recorded and it is streaming live to YouTube. I'd like to thank Michael Kyer and Fritz Reedy for the technical and AV support tonight. If you're online and experience any technical issues, you can reach out to me or Michael for support. For those of you in the sanctuary or in person this evening, please turn the volume off on any devices to avoid feedback, or go ahead and turn those devices off altogether. We ask that you please keep your mouth and nose covered by your mask. We also ask that you refrain from singing, but please feel free to hum along. These measures are for everyone's safety. Thank you.
Good evening. Let's stand in either body or spirit and sing our opening song. It's hymn number 244 in the gray hymnal. It came upon a midnight clear. As always, the words for the song can be found posted in the chat.
Amen.
for singing.
Unitarian Universalist congregation on this Christmas Eve. I am Curtis Tanner of the Worship Arts team, and I use he, him pronouns. Leading the service with me this evening is our minister, the Reverend Mary Gear, Sarah Lewis, our Director of Community and Faith Development, and Troy Fisher, our music director. In the Olympia UU congregation, we hold a vision of a world that is loving, just, and healthy. We are grateful for the many hands that have helped make the service meaningful this evening. We are very glad that you have chosen to be here. Everyone is welcome. This is our traditional Christmas Eve candlelight service in yet another year with upended traditions. Rest assured that we will have candlelight and sing Silent Night at the close of the service. Sometime during the service, perhaps when you're singing a carol, you might want to find a candle if you don't have one already. Now, I invite you to find a chalice so that we can light them together. Welcome, everyone. It is good to be together.
Our chalice lighting words are adapted from Amy Brooks. Even as the days grow shorter and our homes shrink smaller and our wicks burn lower and our will to endure may flicker, we light this chalice to kindle a flame of warmth as a reminder of the connection that draws us in to a community that opens us up in gratitude for the breath in our lungs and the love in our hearts, for the gift of this day alive.
Good evening. Each Sunday this month, we've lit a new candle on our Advent wreath. Many faith traditions use fire, candles, and light as a part of their celebrations, especially at this time of year. In the Christian tradition, Advent is a time to look forward with anticipation toward the birth of Jesus and the celebration of spiritual light. Unitarian Universalism is a faith tradition with roots in Christianity. Today, some UUs identify as Christian and others don't. Yet, during the time and season of Advent, we all have something we can find illuminating, comforting, challenging, or fulfilling by reinterpreting traditions. The circle of greenery on the Advent table reminds us of the eternal cycle of all life, without beginning or end. The candles remind us that we are each called to emit our glow amid the pain and suffering facing our world. The light of Advent grows brighter and brighter, guiding us toward personal peace, shared joy, and more love. We lit the first candle as a symbol of hope, with an invitation to open ourselves to the healing light of community. With the creative power of hope, we express our longing for peace and prepare our hearts to be transformed. We lit our second candle as a symbol of our longing for peace, that we may practice being a peace and justice-making community. Our third candle is a symbol of joy, not just any simple cheer, but the experience of joy that cannot be contained. Advent asks us to proclaim our gladness as a gift to the world, even when sorrow and uncertainty abound, that the fullness of our joy may lead to more freedom. We lit our fourth candle as a reminder that there is no greater power in the world than love. Through community, our love is magnified and lives are changed. And this evening, we light the final candle as a symbol of life within each of us, the light of love between all of us, and the light of community that guides us to something greater. Just for this moment, let's enjoy the miracle of the light.
Let's join in again singing together. I invite you to stand in body or spirit, and we'll sing hymn number 231, Angels We Have Heard on High. The lyrics are also posted in the chat. Thank you for singing.
Our opening reading is Christmas Eve Night by Mary Wellemeyer. Like those shepherds who were on the hillsides with their flocks, like those wise ones in their observatories with their telescopes and astronomical charts, we find our daily work interrupted by these holidays. Like them, we can't keep on working. We have to listen to the angels sing. We have to deal with the call of that special star. The little town of Bethlehem is thronged with people who have come to be taxed, crowding streets and shops, and we have to find our way to an unknown place where a wonderful new beginning awaits. What precious new beginning are you seeking on this night? For what do you push through the crowds? What have the angels told you? What is the call of the star?
Away in a manger, no crib for his bed, Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the bright sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. Mary was that mother mild, Jesus Christ, her little child. The cattle are lowing, the baby awaits. The little Lord Jesus, no crying he makes. I love thee, Lord Jesus, come down from the sky and stay by my bedside till morning is nigh. Mary was that mother mild, Jesus Christ, her little child. Mary was that mother mild, Jesus Christ, her little child. The stars in the bright sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. Mary was the mother mild, Jesus Christ, her little child. Mary was that mother mild, Jesus Christ, her little child.
On this night, we will tell the ancient story of a baby being born in 2,000 years ago. This story takes place in a stable, which we all call a barn, a place where the animals lived. Animals like horses and chickens, sheep and cows, donkeys and pigs. Just imagine for a moment the stable so long ago. Imagine the sounds of all of the animals that were in the stable.
Into this noisy and crowded stable came a young couple, Joseph and Mary, and their baby who was just about to be born. They had taken a long journey from their home in Nazareth to Bethlehem.
Walking across.
Bethlehem was overcrowded with people, and there were no hospitals in those days where babies could be born. But this young couple was blessed with generosity. They were offered space in this stable to rest until their baby was born. It wasn't fancy, but it was warm and safe in the barn with the animals.
It is said that when Jesus was born, his tiny body was wrapped in a cloth to keep him warm. He was laid down on straw in a trough that was used to feed the animals.
Welcome.
Jesus shared his first night with the creatures in the barnyard. They helped warm the little baby and his parents on a cold winter night long ago. Out in the fields, there were shepherds and cowboys watching over their sheep and the other animals. It is said that angels came to the shepherds and cowboys, announcing that a child was born. Now, I'm guessing that the shepherds didn't always feel important, especially when they are out in the fields at night.
Oh, it's cold and dark out here.
But on that night, the angels came and sang, and the shepherds and cowboys felt hope hearing about the birth of this little baby, and they also remembered that they each were precious on that holy night.
Far away, wise ones heard of a new star that rose in the night sky. Some said the star told of birth of a baby who would bring a message of peace to the world. They traveled to find this baby and honor Jesus and his parents with gifts there in that crowded and noisy stable.
Okay.
In that barn, that holy night, Jesus was held at a rock
And rocked.
and snuggled and fed and sung to. And there was a blessing of love and wonder. All the people and the animals gathered around a new baby, caring for him, one and another, resting in amazing love. On this night, we remember that each night a child is born, a holy night. And when each child, there is a possibility of a better world. This happens when we remember that we are all connected. When we choose kindness and generosity, when we remember that each one of us matters, on this night and on all nights, may we be kind and brave and loving, and may we spread peace and joy in our world.
In the bleak midwinter, frosty winds made moan. Earth stood hard as iron, water like a stone. Snow had fallen, snow on snow, snow on snow on snow. In the bleak midwinter, long ago. If I were a wise man, I could do my part. But what can I give him? Give my heart.
This is a season of generosity. Tonight, we offer to each other the gift of our presence as we build the light of our community. We take an offering now to shine our light beyond these walls, joining together in service to something greater than ourselves. The offering collected here tonight will support the Minister's Benevolence Fund. With this fund, Reverend Mary is able to help those who request it, people connected with this congregation, and others who ask for our help. She also uses this fund to send support to organizations helping others throughout the world, such as the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. Together, we can do much more than any one of us alone. Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. May the offering now be generously given as it is gratefully received.
Oh,
May the stream of your life flow unimpeded. Deep peace of the running wave to you. Deep peace of the flowing air to you, which fans your face on a sultry day, the air which you breathe deeply, rhythmically, which imparts to you energy, consciousness, life. Deep peace of the flowing air to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you, who herself, unmoving, harbors the movements and facilitates the life of the 10,000 creatures while resting contented, stable, tranquil. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you, which stay invisible till darkness falls and disclose their pure and shining presence, beaming down in compassion on your turning world. Deep peace of the shining stars to you.
Despair, I bowed my head, Mary.
And so this is Christmas. Another holiday in COVID times. As we celebrate the arrival of vaccines and boosters, we are facing yet another variant. And as we are enjoying the opening of activities and in-person connections, we live with uncertainty and daily decisions about health and safety. And it is Christmas Eve. The story of Christmas is one of anticipation, of hope, and of light. I don't know about you, but for me, it has been a long and spiral journey to get to some sense of Christmas this year. While I have been intentional about doing some holiday rituals, like decorating our small tree, holiday music whenever possible, lights, and baking, it has still been a challenge for me to notice joy and peace this season. In October, when I began planning this Christmas Eve service, I was feeling a bit lost about what message might be needed for our spirits in this season. And as I often do in those times, I turned to music for inspiration. And I heard the bells on Christmas Day. Longfellow's words from long ago spoke to me of the tensions of this time as he wrote about the tensions of his time. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow was an American poet and educator who wrote the poem Christmas Bells on Christmas Day in 1863. His poem was first put to music just after the Civil War and has been used in several versions over the years. One version was popularized by Bing Crosby in the 1950s, just after World War II. And most recently, a contemporary Christian group recorded it in 2008 during the height of the Great Recession. Human history is full of hard times. This is not the first, and it will not be the last. It is a measure of our humanity and our resilience that we can find moments of joy and peace amidst suffering. With his words, Longfellow captures the dissonance of hearing the joyous Christmas bells at a time when he didn't feel much joy. America was at war, a civil war that would claim hundreds of thousands of lives. In despair, I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, he wrote. There was no peace on earth. Hate is strong, he wrote. And for Longfellow, it was personal. His son left to join the Union Army without his father's permission. Longfellow feared for his country and for his son. Longfellow's despair was also fueled by grief at the loss of his wife in a tragic accident. War and hate, grief and worry mock the song of the bells that peal, peace on earth, goodwill to all. And yet the bells of Christmas keep ringing. Wild and sweet their words repeat. Even in his despair, Longfellow could not ignore the bells that pealed loud and deep, proclaiming a message of hope, of peace, and goodwill. What are the bells in your life? What reminds you again and again, persistently, that there is beauty, joy, and peace? What are your bells? There is much in this world just to disappoint us and to lead to despair right now. I have my list and many of you have yours. And yet, our bells keep ringing, reminding us that there is meaning, there is hope, there is joy, there is love. The earth and stars remind us that there is a deep peace. In a moment, we will hear bells. Listen closely as we hear these bells on this Christmas Eve. What is the wild and sweet message that they ring for us this holy night? Listen.
On this night of all nights, we are grateful for the miracle of the light, the return of the sunlight, the light of life and love that is born in each of us. Let's create the miracle of the light together. For those online, I invite you to dim the lights where you are and then light your candle. For those in the sanctuary, if you do not have a candle, please raise your hand so the ushers can get you one. And then once you have one, I invite everyone to turn on your candles. It's just a twist of the top. Then look around this space made sacred by our presence and our gathering together. Online, you may scroll through the screens. In person here, look around at the faces around you and at those online, and notice that you are warm and dry, safe and sheltered. And most importantly, that you are not alone.
If you are able to tonight, look out the windows or look up at the night sky. There are majestic trees and an abundance of life. There are stars, even though we may not see them behind the clouds. The rain falls to nourish this earth as life rests and is rejuvenated. It is a miracle that we are here at all, that there is life, this precious gift of life on this still, silent, holy night. Or wherever you go, may you know the stillness of winter and the call to love. May the presence of the holy crowd out fear, hate, and worry, and proclaim in this moment that peace and goodwill might yet be breathed into the world, and a vow that we too can give birth to love wherever we go, whoever we are. Merry Christmas, everyone. May you go in peace. Good night.